Hi there. Hope it's a fabulous day wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying your day. Hope it's just a day filled with love, joy, and enthusiasm, and you are living your best life at every single level in whatever you're doing, whatever it is. This is the New Thought Media Network. I'm Ken Ludwig, and you're watching the Vibrant Living Hour, which I think is going to change to just simply Vibrant Living with Ken Ludwig, because I don't do an hour very often. So we're going to change the name, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I love this. I got to get the right finger here. Can you see over my shoulder right there? That's my Keith Richards bobblehead. He had to become part of the show. Keith Richards is, of course, my musical hero and has always been my musical hero. He is just simply the greatest that ever was. He is the GOAT for shizzle. Anyway, so I got something I want to talk about today, and I'm wrestling with myself because it's a rant. And it's a rant about judgment. It's a rant about getting caught up in ego and us versus them mentality from any kind of a religious or spiritual standpoint. And I guess the challenge is for me, the challenge is going to be to do this and to talk to you about it and not be exactly what I'm ranting against, which is someone who is judging and making everyone other than those who believe as I believe wrong. That's the story. That's what it is. And here's where it comes from. There's a guy who is a very, very, very well respected and very well regarded trainer, coach, motivational speaker in my realm. Hi, Wayne. In my realm, in the realm of network marketing, affiliate marketing, direct selling, and of course he'll remain unnamed, but he is a very, very well-respected, highly regarded guy who's very, very good at what he does, has always been one of my favorites, just because he's very clear and he's very direct and to the point, and he's got lots of experience in the affiliate marketing and network marketing space, and he's really, really good at motivating people and telling a story and being direct and getting the message across, and it's really good. And when I see him on Facebook, I stop and I watch his stuff, and I've seen him at live events. He's just really, really, really good at what he does. Having said that, my understanding is 4 or 5 months ago, he became, and I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, but I think it's important that I say what he has converted to. He has become a reborn Christian. Now, I'm not going to be someone I don't want to be judging Christianity, and I don't want to be doing something negative around Christians. I don't want to paint with that kind of a brush. And by the way, I can see you folks out there. I have a little thing that tells me people are watching. I don't know where you're watching from because I stream this in 6 different places. So it's on the New Thought Media Facebook page. It is on my Facebook page, my Coach Ken Facebook page, and my branded page with my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging. It's also on my YouTube channel and the New Thought Media YouTube channel. So I don't know where you're watching from. So if you can comment on the StreamYard, or even in the Facebook page that you're watching on, if you can comment, I'd love to know that you're there and what your thoughts are. I also want to know if you have any questions about what I'm talking about today, or if you have any input. That's important to me. Anyway, this gentleman became a reborn Christian. My understanding is like 5 months ago, 5 months ago. And he has been studying very heavily the Bible and is presenting it now on social media. And once again, I can see people are tuning in here and watching. Please let me know that you're there. Just make a comment in the comments or on whatever page you're watching it on. Just let me know you're there. And any questions you have, that if you can comment on the StreamYard page right here, then I'd be thrilled to death to answer them on the New Thought Media page here. He's very astute. He has studied the Bible, and it's obvious he's studied the Bible, and but now he is He is on social media, in particular Facebook, because I don't really do a hell of a lot of other social media. He's on Facebook and he is proselytizing a lot, big time. And that's okay. I mean, that's his choice. That's his thing to do. And he's quoting a lot of Bible stuff and deep into the Bible, not just New Testament, not just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which to me are like the same book, 4 different ways. But he goes into all of the other books, the books of the Old Testament, and all of the other books, if you will. I don't want to go into the detail of them, but he's lots of quotes, and he has then lessons that he's giving off of those, or using, not really giving lessons from those quotes so much as using those quotes to back up the lesson or the rant that he happens to be doing at the moment. And that's also all well and good. I mean, it's, we live in the United States of America here, the land of free speech. If that's what he wants to say, that's what he wants to say. But here's the thing. Really made me stop and think about myself and how do I show up in the world? And what it made me think about was this. In doing these lessons or these rants or whatever they are, this gentleman says multiple times, I'm not here to judge, or it's not for me to judge, or I'm not judging. And in the meantime, he's nonstop judging and casting aspersions, referring to entire groups of people by denigrating nicknames that he's conjured up, that he's made, referring to entire groups of people as evil. And I know I'm trying not to be too specific, because the minute I get specific about exactly the one I'm talking about, then some people will know exactly who I mean. And I really don't want to point a finger at this guy. I'm not, this is not something to demean what he's doing or what he's saying, but it is to point out the fact that the minute we get into any kind of a mindset where we are doing an us versus them, where you're referring to someone else as evil, which this guy did that. He called, oh, you know what? This might not be too specific. All the people in the entertainment industry, he referred to them as evil. And it, either before or after, saying, I'm not here to judge them. Well, you just did. We get into that mindset of anyone who doesn't think the way I think, who doesn't act the way I act, who doesn't believe the way I believe, who doesn't speak the way I speak, those people are wrong. Those people are them. And this fellow in his conversation was talking about he makes a lot of references to Satan. And if you're a metaphysician, if you're someone who comes from my world, you know that we don't believe necessarily in a capital E evil, in a Satan or a devil or something that is absolutely opposing universal good. Believe in a small e evil, which is basically the misuse of the law of mind, misuse of cause and effect. No matter how you look at any human who has lived in the past or is living at present in some instances, no matter how you look at them, I can't define them with a capital E evil, only with the small e, which is, again, misuse. It's misunderstanding of life, of people, of what makes the world go round. It's a misunderstanding of love. It's a misunderstanding of what each and every one of us needs to do in order to be a beneficial presence on the planet. So this fellow who was doing these lessons with the Bible quotes, I found him very curiously to me. This is a bone I have to pick with people who are busy quoting the Bible to tell us all how much we need to come to God, we need to come to Jesus, or whatever his message is he cherry picks these things from the Bible that specifically speak to exactly the sentence or the thought that he has in mind, or the idea that you have to come to Jesus. The only way you can ever survive in this world. He actually made a statement that personal development is useless without God. I'm sorry. My relationship with God actually has a lot to do with my personal development, both before and after my association with the universal, with the infinite. But by cherry picking those quotes from the Bible, those passages from the Bible, what this person is, what he is doing is he is making these quotes from the Bible the law, the word. This is it. This is the truth. Now let's understand something. 99% of everything that's written in the Bible was written by people who had no relationship whatsoever with Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, with Jesus. I don't get caught up in my old Catholicism. Jesus Christ. It's Jesus. Jesus, the master teacher. Jesus, perhaps the most enlightened being of all times. But the Christ connotation, the Christ name applies to all of us. It is from the Greek, which means the chosen one. And we are all the chosen of God. And that is part of the message of Jesus. But as you're using these biblical quotes to tell people how much they need to come to Jesus, you're at the same time ignoring the stuff that's in the Bible that is baloney, which really calls into question then how much of what you're using that suits your purpose actually is something we can consider truth, or that we should consider truth. I mean, in the Bible, there's all kinds of crazy stories about if you eat pork, your ears fall off or something. I mean, pork is unclean. If slavery is fine, everyone has slaves. They're all, your slaves are your property and your women are your property. And all of these crazy thoughts in the Bible that come from a way ancient patriarchal society before and after Jesus, and right up until the 21st century. But it's all expressed in a patriarchal way where the only people who owned anything were the wealthy. And let's be clear, from the Bible, in the sense of the Bible, there's not a whole hell of a lot of clear, pure white people involved in the Bible. So it's not just white people, which is, that would be kind of the patriarchy of the 21st century in the United States of America would be all, take this with how many grains of salt you want, old white men. But the idea that all of those things are also part of this book gives lie to the fact that everything you quote from it is a positive, is a truth, is something by which we can live. Now, don't misunderstand me. There are incredible lessons in the Bible for us all to take to heart, to learn how to live. It's got tremendous guidelines on living a great life, but it also has a lot of BS in it, a lot of crap. And when I listened to this guy who was calling people to Jesus, and his latest message, I think, was something like, "I'm glad it wasn't too late for God to accept me." God is not accepting you. God has accepted you from the get-go. God has always accepted each and every one of us because God is all there is. We are God in form. God created each of us as it created everything that we will ever know or ever has been known or ever will be known, and so much that we will never, ever have a clue of, all created by God using just one creative substance, which is itself. So we are all God's stuff. And as to whether or not God is accepting us or waiting on us, no. God is experiencing itself through each and every one of us. It's experiencing itself through its creation, and everything that we do, everything we experience, everything we perform in this life is God experiencing itself through its creation, which it loves. It loves that experience. It loves its creation. That is what we know as, that unconditional love of the divine. God is love. God is this overarching creative intelligence of the universe that is creating nonstop, and it creates nonstop for one reason and one reason only, because it loves what it does and it loves what it creates. And that is you and that is me. So to say that it is never too late, or I'm glad it wasn't too late for God to accept me, is kind of silly. Because it really is more a question of, are you ready? It's never too late for you to accept God, for you to come to God. My old friend, Reverend Lloyd Barrett, Reverend Dr. Lloyd Barrett, always had the great expression, the reason there are so many pathways to God is because God is the only place to go. That's why why there's no knocking other religions. That's why there's no exclusivity and this notion that my way is the only way. I'd love, it's really funny. Some of the best explanations of the beliefs in God come from atheists. And I love Ricky Gervais, the comedian who is an atheist. I had the conversation with Stephen Colbert, who's a devout Catholic. And Ricky Gervais made the example that there are about 3,000 gods recognized in the world. Actually, there's over 4,000. But there are like 3,000 gods recognized in the world. And Stephen Colbert believes in one. Ricky Gervais says, and I just believe in one less than you. Why is it that any of us has the hubris to believe that the pathway that we follow, the belief system that we follow, is at its head the possessor of the only God, the only true divinity, the only universal truth? That's crazy. It's nuts. And again, go back to my friend Reverend Lloyd. The reason there are so many pathways to God is because God is the only place to go. So there's many different paths. We're all on the same mountain. We're all approaching the peak of the mountain from different pathways on the mountain, from different ways up the hill. That's very cool. And I want to be totally accepting of that. Am I that all the time? Hell no. I wish I were. But the truth of the matter is, I wish to be someone who is clear that everything you do, everything he does, everything she does, and they do is their pathway. And it is not for me to judge or condemn or to make right or wrong. It's simply for me to accept. It's their journey. It's their path. It's what they're doing. And so when I hear this well-respected motivational speaker, now that he has turned to this reborn pathway, that's all well and good for him. But man, get off of Facebook telling me that they want us, they want us to say the universe, while we should be saying God. Because they find it easier to have a relationship with space rather than the loving relationship with a father that we have. These are almost verbatim quotes. And in my way of looking at life, it's very judgmental. It's very unaccepting. And quite honestly, even though this is from the perspective of a reborn Christianity, this is incredibly unchristian. You express your relationship with the divine in whatever way you express the relationship with the divine. There's lots and lots and lots of people out there who come from assorted different Judeo-Christian traditions, in particular Judeo-Christian traditions, where they have God issues. They have problems with the word God. Some of them have, some of them who were brought up in some of the paradigms that I was brought up in. I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. There was some corporal punishment, and a lot of people who went to Catholic grammar schools, they experienced corporal punishment much to their screwing with their head, much to having very negative attitudes about religion, about Catholicism, and about God in general. My friend Barry Ebert always talks about, God, when he was growing up, God was always pissed off. And he always seemed to be particularly pissed off at me. That's the God that we were raised with in the Judeo-Christian tradition. We know better as metaphysicians. We know that there is an all-loving God, an almighty God that is all-loving and is always there as our means to embrace, to lift ourselves up to a higher mind. It is that consciousness. It is that Christ consciousness. It is that universal consciousness that into which we can pour ourselves. Whether you look at it as a universal consciousness, you look at it as the overarching creative intelligence of the universe, or God, or spirit, or Buddha, or the field, or the infinite ocean of possibilities of quantum physics. However you look at that, that is your expression of the divine, and you are welcome to it. And no one is to tell you, I'm sorry, you can only say God. And you have to accept God the Father. You have to accept the God of the Bible that people decided to give a gender and a position as head of the family. Go figure. It's a great line on one of the things I see in passing here is if you want to see the people who are worried about pronouns, people's pronouns, choosing their pronouns, just refer to the Christian God as she or it and see how quick they get concerned about pronouns. And again, got to be careful here. I don't want to get caught in that judgment thing. I'm just pointing out that it's not the Christian way. It's not the teachings of Jesus. And it may actually be detrimental or the antithesis of what you're trying to accomplish by talking about that. It's not bringing people to you. It's not bringing people to Jesus. It's not bringing people to God. It's making people go, wow, you're full of crap. Right, Wayne. That's a great one. Wayne just went Shazbot. Anybody who remembers Mork and Mindy knows Shazbot. So yeah, so that's the rant. And it's people. I can see people are out there watching, and I'm not seeing any comments here on the StreamYard page other than my friend Wayne here is always around. Wayne Baldwin from Calgary, Alberta. But the question from me is to my metaphysician friends, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do we get caught up in that us versus them? Do we get caught up in they? Because all it should ever be is we, Christian, Jew, Buddhist, Hindu, Taoist, whatever it is, Native American, indigenous tribes all over the planet have all different kinds of ceremonial, religious, and spiritual beliefs. How can anyone legitimately sit and look at the 7.5 billion people on the planet? And yes, they're, when you divide up the people who believe and blah, 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 the majority are Christian. But if you put everybody else together, not so much. There are all these different pathways, and they all get you to where you're going, I hope. Whatever brings you to your spiritual truth, whatever brings you to your connection to the universe, to God, to spirit, to whatever brings you to that higher consciousness, connects you to the higher mind, whatever gets you there, man, take that freaking path. And don't be telling me it's the only path. Don't be telling me it's the only way to go. And don't be telling me that if you don't believe what I believe, if you don't read the Christian Bible, if you don't say God instead of universe, you're wrong. Poppycock. And that's what this gentleman who I'm referring to here is doing online. And it just kind of stuck in my craw. And like I said, I listen to him all the time. He's one of my favorites as a motivational speaker and a coach for the affiliate marketing, network marketing, direct selling space. And because I respect him so much, I've listened to like 4 of these things he's done on Facebook, just out of respect for him. And I've listened to like 4 of them, and they're all the same thing. They all have that little, that underlying judgment and making the other wrong, while at the same time he says multiple times in every one of them, I'm not here to judge. I'm not judging anyone. That's all. Thou protesteth too much is what I think when I hear someone say, I'm not judging. 99 times out of 100, you probably are, or you just did. So there you go. That's today's rant. And again, I can see people are out there. I don't know if you are watching in a space where you can comment on the Facebook page here, the New Thought Media Facebook page, which is where I believe my comments, although comments I can see, the other ones I can see after I finish the show, and I go on to my Coach Ken page and my Vibrant Aging page and go to the YouTube channels. I can then see those comments. But if you have a comment, if you have a question, if you have an experience of your own, please put it in the comments. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Because this kind of tweaked me, obviously. It got to me. I think I think one of the things that drew me to metaphysics, one of the things that made me feel comfortable was the diversity of the population of metaphysicians. I can see more people are joining me today. Please, if you got a comment, give me a comment. I'm waiting for comments on this. The fact that we don't judge, that we are a totally inclusive community. We take people from all faiths, all walks of life, all lifestyles. We absolutely embrace them as metaphysicians. And to ostracize or make wrong someone who uses the wrong verbiage, someone who uses the wrong noun or pronoun, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. You know, I'll light a fire here. In my mind's eye, because of what I consider to be the inclusivity of metaphysicians, of metaphysics in general, the inclusivity, the all-encompassing, we are one attitude. Because of that, I have a hard time even believing people who are practicing metaphysicians embrace present-day Republican Party. I'm not saying about conservatives. A conservative to me is like somebody who's completely, if they're calling themselves Republicans, I think they're making a mistake. They should call themselves something else, just call themselves conservatives. Because right now the Republican Party is kind of a clown show. But that's a whole nother workshop, my friends, and that's not something here to talk about on New Thought Media Network. I'll cover that someday from Making It Out Alive. Tune into I had another Facebook page I have, Making It Out Alive, and I'm gonna awaken Making It Out Alive with some political stuff, because the political stuff that's going on right now needs to be commented on, and it needs to be something that all of us pay attention to. But back to this main story. We all need to pay attention to the idea that we are one. Your beliefs are no less valid than my beliefs. They're yours. It's not for me to decide if they're right, wrong, or indifferent. The truth of the matter is, I am clear on my beliefs. And I have to have an attitude of, you're clear on yours. And that's good. And it doesn't matter how you express them, what words you use. I don't care if you drop a lot of F-bombs. I'm the king of the F-bomb. My old friend Jamie Lula, the New Thought musician, Jamie Lula is known as Captain Inappropriate. And I told him one day, I said, I'm coming for your title, man. And he said, no, you're never going to be any more than Lieutenant Inappropriate. I'll be the captain forever. And so now I'm Lieutenant Inappropriate. But it's just an aside. That doesn't mean anything. No matter how you express your relationship with the divine, your relationship with spirit, with God, with the universe, with the overarching creative intelligence, no matter how you express that, it's yours. And I worship that. I bless that. Whatever it is that gets you there, whatever path you are taking to the top of that mountain, take it. And don't let anyone tell you different. Don't let anyone tell you you're not saying God, you're wrong. To me, the words are interchangeable. And the fact that anyone gets so attached to the word God, to me, speaks of tremendous insecurity. And I got news for you. The thing you're referring to is not as insecure as you are about what it's called. It doesn't care. This is the New Thought Media Network. And I want you to remember that we are a nonprofit organization and we thrive on your donations. Please go to ntmedia.org, newthoughtmedia.org, ntmedia.org, click on donate, and we are absolutely thrilled beyond belief with whatever it is that you will send in our direction. You can always find me by going to that other Facebook page, my branded page of my beloved Lisa, facebook.com, Vibrant Aging it is, which goes hand in hand with this Vibrant Living. Of course, you can also find me on Coach Ken and just my Ken Ludwig page. If you want to send me an email, please send it right here, teamrockitnow@gmail.com. teamrockitnow@gmail.com. Remember, The Vibrant Living Hour is brought to you by hempworks.com, which is it's one of the 10 different brands under the umbrella of mydailychoice.com. There's the page to go to right down there at the bottom in the scroll, mydailychoice.com/Ken Ludwig. That's my page. That's where you will find me. I'm getting ready to get back on Instagram. You can find me there at evolving_hippie, evolving hippie on Instagram. So that's my rant for today, and I would be thrilled if you would send me your thoughts either in the on the other Facebook pages or on my YouTube page. I hope you enjoyed what I had to talk about today. Remember, there is literally only one of us, and it is the divine. It is God. It is the universe. It is that overarching creative intelligence. That's all that there is, my friends. And each and every one of us is an integral part of that oneness. We are, each and every one of us, an emanation of the divine, an individuation of that divine energy. Not a drop in the ocean, but the ocean in every drop, as they say. So, as always, I am immensely grateful for the incredible gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings the universe has to offer. I hope you will join me next Thursday and every Thursday for the Vibrant Living Hour, or soon to be just Vibrant Living with Ken Ludwig. Until the next time, thank you and namaste.